Hi everyone, you're watching Main Character Energy with Kai and Anj, and we have someone really cute, handsome, and a personal favorite. And if you all don't recognize him, then you all obviously don't live on this planet. It's Rashad Rana.
Yay.
Hi Rashad, thanks for being here. We are so happy to see you.
Yes.
You're looking really good.
As always. And I have to tell you, we've been seeing you on our screens for years now. So I have to tell you, Hip Hip Hooray was actually one of my favorite shows when I was about 13, 14. I remember I was in South Africa, in Durban. And we used to watch, it used to come on ZTV, right?
Yeah.
I used to wait for when Hip Hip
You
Hooray.
used to get Z at that time over there?
So we used to only get Z and Star TV and B4U, like literally these three channels. But we used to feel so connected to India by watching shows. But Hip Hip Hooray was such an amazing, I think it's an iconic show.
Yes.
And of course, you were this cute, guy on the show, which I think you had a lot of fans, a lot of girls who were crushing on you.
Fortunately.
Yeah, I think so how did Hip Hip Hooray happen?
So Hip Hip Hooray actually, so I got a portfolio made whilst I was in college, thinking that I'll just get into modeling, do some ads, because my uncle used to be a model for Zodiac. He was the Zodiac man, in fact. He was their face.
Oh.
And once I lost a little weight in college, started working out, and people were like, you look a lot like your uncle. Why don't you try your hands at modeling? And I was like, okay, fine, because I was a very filmy kid. I used to love watching movies to the extent many a times I used to go alone and watch movies. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. And I got a portfolio made. I said, let me just try, modeling. But then auditions started happening for ads. I started really enjoying them. I understood what an audition was, what it is to face a camera, to say your lines, to emote,
Yeah.
and that whole process was very interesting for me. So, I mean, after relentlessly auditioning for a year, I got Hip Hip Hooray, which was my first show. I auditioned for it. Then there was a 15-day theater workshop, which the director did with all of us because we were all so young and fresh. And then finally the shoot happened. So that's how it all began, And I remember my mom actually being a little skeptical about me acting, whilst I was in college. She thought I might just drop out because of the, glitzy, glamoury world. But I assured them that is not going to happen. And I did my college along with shooting for Hip Hip Hooray. And yeah, rest is history. Then I started doing other work, and I realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but it's so much of it's like going into the unknown, right? Because it's firstly being a Parsi, for us, it's also like the Hindi language for me. It's always been a setback for me in terms of doing anything. I always feel like maybe I'm nervous because I won't be able to say things in front of the camera for a long time. How do you do that? It's not our first?
No, fortunately for me, I was fond of Hindi. People find it very strange because a Parsi being fond of Hindi, a Parsi saying I'm fond of English is like second nature. But I was genuinely fond of Hindi in my school. I took part in a lot of Hindi plays. My Hindi was pretty clean. And then once once Hip Hip Hooray happened and I started doing other things, like I got into a big film called Mohabbatein, a very small part, but a big film, like the biggest film that was happening around at that time. And then I started doing TV shows for Balaji. And like you said, I was just thrown into the unknown world, but it was so fascinating, so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that if I want to stick around, I obviously have to work a little more on my language. Then I kept doing some theater workshops, a lot of voice modulation workshops and things like that. And that improved that slight little bawa thing that I had in my language, that kind of went off.
Did people comment on that? Like, did you get people saying that, "Arey bawa"?
No, not at all. I mean, now that I look back and see my episodes from Hip Hip Hooray, I feel that there is a slight, maybe a 10% touch there, but it wasn't obvious to people, thankfully.
I don't think the women were looking at it. They weren't concentrating on the accent. They were just like, ooh,
Thank
who's this guy?
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
No, but, I'll tell you one thing. So, the accent at that time wasn't a problem. But then I said that, okay, now I have to work on my Hindi. And I was also very conscious of the fact that being a Parsi, I don't want to get typecast into those typical caricaturish Parsi roles. So I think, Hip Hip Hooray was like the perfect launch that any actor could have asked for. The kind of character I had, it was very dynamic. I was the sports captain, so it had that whole, leadership quality to it, and so very aspirational for people as well. So I think it was just being at the right place and at the right time.
Yeah.
Huge. That's the name of the game in
Yeah.
industry, right?
But I have to ask you. So obviously there were shows like Hip Hip Hooray. Then we grew up watching, Banegi Apni. Love all these shows, and they were so progressive and modern and kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
And then television had this whole wave, where of course these shows became very popular. But then they were, there's the whole Saas Bahu wave came, right? So personally, I mean, do you think that we went backwards in terms of doing the Saas Bahu, or what exactly happened actually?
See, I feel that the makers are only making what the people want to watch eventually. So maybe that was the flavor back then that people loved. In fact, even now, so I am doing a daily soap called Mannat,
Yeah.
which is again the Saas Bahu genre. It's a very stylized show, very, everyone looks great and everyone's wearing these amazing clothes and the women are wearing these amazing jewelry. But the content is Saas Bahu. And it's still working. It's still working. Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi has come back after 25 years and it is still ruling the charts. So, I mean, I don't think that format is ever going to go away.
Mumbai are thinking like this, but I think all over India,
Across India.
they're still living like that. There's
And
a part.
yeah. And of course, I mean, the Saas Bahu shows are very addictive when you get into it. Initially the younger people,
I have no yeah.
there are so many times, kids like you'll be watching with their parents and like, what are you watching? Then you start watching and you're like, Arey, haan, isne iske saath kyun kiya aisa? So it does. There is a format to it, obviously, and it works, I guess.
But see, I am no one to comment whether we've gone back or whatever. But as a performer, I like the more casual stuff. I like the more modern stuff, obviously, because that is how we are brought up being, Mumbaiites and things like that. So that is kind of aspirational for me. But of course, one has to survive. One has to keep at it. One has to keep working. So, I mean, I try and keep a balance. That's why I'm very particular about my contracts, whereas TV is concerned, that I always keep about 10 days in hand for myself, for ads, for web shows, for movies and things like that, because that is the kind of work which obviously is going to remain for long. There's a lot of longevity to it. And also it is something which, as performers, you enjoy more, obviously,
Yeah. But ads also, you've done a lot. You've done a lot. You would auditioned a lot as well.
I've
You've done a lot of
auditioned.
ads also.
Yeah, I've auditioned.
But you have, so that's what I want to ask you, because you're on a certain level, okay? Everybody kind of recognizes you. You've done a lot of good work. What do you feel when you go for auditions? When they ask you to audition, do you feel like, oh my gosh, after they already know me, how much do I need to audition? Because I know people who, as actors, say, I don't want to audition.
Yeah, I know such actors as well, but I actually enjoy the process of audition.
Is it?
I just told you guys that I auditioned for a film and I came and I'm feeling refreshed after that audition, because I feel every audition, every new script teaches you something new, gives you a different character, a new, and all these young casting directors, like even if I just auditioned for Mukesh Abha, but there were these two young boys who auditioned me for it. And when they make you audition, there's so much young energy that you're dealing with. There are so many fresh takes that you come across. So I feel every audition you're learning something.
Right.
And I've always been at it for auditions also. Like there are a lot of self tapes that we do. Like after COVID, this whole going to a production house and auditioning has become very less.
Yeah.
Like it's only for a web show.
Now it's online, no? Like,
You just record it at home. Yeah, I record it. I keep a tripod in my shoot bag. Whenever I have free time and I have an audition to make, I make it in my makeup room and I send it across. So now that process has become fairly simpler also.
Nice. But your body of work has been extensive. So you've done film, you've done OTT, ads of course, but also TV. So what is your favorite though? What do you actually enjoy doing the most?
Web, film, ads, that is incredible,
Yeah.
Also, but TV, I mean, whatever I am is because of TV.
Yeah.
Whatever recognition I get is because of TV. Be it at malls or airports or hotels or wherever I go.
Yeah.
So it is primarily because of TV. So I don't want to belittle the medium. I don't want to do that. But yes, like I said and like I keep saying, film, web shows, that is aspirational. I hope to reach a certain level there. in my life. And I
Right.
really, really fighting hard to
Yeah.
do that.
So ever since I know you, in fact, you have been a fighter. I know you for a while, but you're a fighter. I know that as well because I know that I'm sure that you must have gone through challenges and you must have gone thure the process. After Hibipure, you're already there. And now people want to, from there, you want to obviously go higher, right? And then a few years, I'm not saying, I don't know about anything about struggle, but I know a lot of people who say, oh gosh, now I have to do something as good or better. And that must have been, there must be a period of time you probably went through where you felt like, oh, should I give up? Should I not? What do I do? Did you ever have that?
A lot of such periods. So basically, when you said that I wanted to do better, so that was a phase in my life wherein I signed a couple of films. One of those films, it was a small little indie film that a young guy was making it, a new guy was making it, and he said that I wanted to be the hero of my film. And it instead of it being a 30-day schedule, the whole film went on for about 3 years because of a lot of finance issues, date issues from other actors. When the film released, and I had to give up on a lot of TV work for those 3 years because he said, "You are the face of my film. I can't let you do TV." Now, obviously, times have changed. Now,
Yeah.
people are open to taking TV faces in major roles in films also. But back then, I'm talking of 13, 14 years back, the scene was different. But he didn't even put me on the posters of the film, telling me that I'm the hero. And, that kind of, it got me into depression for a while because the film came and went, no one got to know. The producer didn't have the money to put posters outside theaters because he had oversplurged on the making of the film. That 3 year span where I didn't do TV, I wiped out all my savings. So I was suddenly, standing with nothing in my hands. And then I had to literally start from scratch, start calling all those people who were calling me for the last 3 years. And I was telling them, sorry, I can't do your show right now because I'm doing because I'm doing a film, and then reconnecting with them. But yeah, fortunately, the goodwill has also been so good always that people were ready to take me on. And then I think I did my first Crime Patrol episode.
Yeah.
And then I did a CID episode, and that got me back into the game. Like, within 15, 20 days, I was back into it. But that experience taught me a lot that you don't wait for anything to happen in your life. Like, don't wait. Okay, if this happens, so I will wait for this thing to come. I will not sign up anything right now till this thing releases. I am never ever going to make that mistake again. Unless and until it's a very big production house, it's a primary part.
Yeah.
And I know for sure that, okay, this is going to get me somewhere.
Yeah.
But never again am I going to make a mistake like that. So yeah, that was a phase in my life. 3 years, like I said. It's been the only phase in my life when I've not had work, and that too not because of there not being any opportunities, but because of my choice of not taking them up because I am this so-called loyalist for my producers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you are that kind of guy, isn't it? You're the nice guy. I think people know you as a nice guy. And as you say, nice guys, unfortunately, nobody values, especially in an industry like that. Now it's so competitive.
Yeah.
And what do you feel like to be younger lot coming in now when there's so much of competition? Also, there are new people, even people our age want to this.
Yeah.
So what is your feeling on that? When you meet them, when you see them, what is your thing?
I don't know. I don't feel insecure. Like, competition has never made me insecure. Like, I remember even when we used to do Hibipure,
Yeah.
we used to go to famous studios to give auditions, and there were almost 70 people at a time to give an audition for the same ad. But even back then, when I was starting off, I never had that kind of insecurity. I always believe in one thing, that if it is meant for you, it is going to come to you.
Yeah.
No matter what. But having said that, you obviously have to put in the hard work, and you have to, keep polishing your craft and keep learning new things which are going around in the world, and, newer acting techniques and things like that. So, but I mean, like I said, I'm not insecure about it at all. It's good. I mean, there are new people coming in. It gives you an opportunity to work with those new people, learn from new people.
Yeah.
As far as I keep getting work, I have no issue.
Yeah. But over the last few years, what do you think has actually changed in the industry? Now, you've been here for so long. What changes have you seen? And, yeah.
See, things changed for me drastically post-COVID. I did a show called Anupama
Yeah,
right
got-
after COVID.
That's a big blockbuster, of course.
Yeah, and that kind of brought me back into the game. And how? Because before COVID happened and before Anupama happened, I was doing a lot of episodics. I mean, I learned a lot. Uh, every episode is a different story, and I was working with this amazing bunch of actors and directors and stuff like that. But I had kind of lost placement in the industry. And that is when I realized, when I signed a show right before COVID happened, and I went for the narration and the reading, and they had not even given me a character name. It just said Father 1, and there was a Father 2, and then there were these other primary characters on the show, and I'm like, what is this? I have not been struggling since 20 years,
Yeah.
20 plus years to be cast as Father
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
So I took a stand. I said, I don't want to do that show. I'd signed a contract. It's very unlikely of me to do something like that. I had given my measurements for costumes. Costumes were made. I said, I am not doing this show.
Right.
I'm very sorry. Even if it meant ruining my reputation, or, crossing ties with that production house or whatever it is, I'm like, I don't want to do it. It just didn't feel right. So then after COVID, Anupama happened. Anupama changed the game for me. Then I did a lot of web work along with it. And the changes that have happened, obviously opportunities have increased now because of OTT coming in.
Yeah.
A lot of work for new people, actors like me who've always been doing TV but want to do a little better than that.
Yeah.
So I think OTT is the
It's
perfect
opened up.
space to be in, to showcase your talent, definite things like that. So that's how I think the industry has definitely changed for the better.
For the better.
And now this whole vertical format has come in.
Yeah.
Like, people are making vertical shows, and now vertical 2-minute dramas are starting, and micro dramas.
So rocket someday. No, there's also and there's
Yeah, lots of apps.
these 2 minutes. Oh gosh, I think we should also start that. You want to do that with us? We'll do a little drama together. Yeah, what shall we play? You say, well, let's do like a.
I'm always into any kind of role playing, so I don't have any problems with.
Okay. This conversation has taken a very interesting turn.
The sandwich.
Yeah.
But the sandwich.
Oh, God.
I got a full show. And then So let's come to the fun question.
Yeah.
But one more question which we wanted to ask you, we were discussing on our way here, that when you've done movies, right? You've done films, and then you get out there and you meet them outside the film, the actors, the lead actors. I'm talking about like the superstars. What is their this like? How do they value you? Because in the sets, everyone's like, we are friends. We're not friends, but we are. You're the same one.
So I've been very lucky that way. Like right from, after my first film, Mohabbatein, I did Veer Zara, in which Shah Rukh Khan was gracious enough to. Shah Rukh Khan remembered me.
Wow.
Imagine the shock of a lifetime that Shah Rukh Khan remembers me.
Yeah, what?
He didn't remember my name, but he remembered that I did Mohabbatein. And he in fact told Adi sir that, "Arey, ye to apne saath Mohabbatein mein tha." And then he was very kind to me.
Yeah.
And we've been very lucky. Like, I recently did a film with Saif Ali Khan, and we had done a film called Rangoon together, in which we played brothers.
Oh.
And before that film, we used to work out at several gyms together.
Right.
We would just end up
Yeah.
being members at the same gym and working out together.
Yeah.
And then I just did a film called Hum Hindustani. We shot it this year only. And I met him after all these years after doing Rangoon. And he was also very warm, very nice, very lovely. After Veer Zara, I shot with Rani Mukherjee for Mardani 3.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she was so amazing.
Yeah.
So, I that way have been very lucky
Yeah.
that all these people have been so wonderful to me. And they don't need to. They don't need to. Like, they are the stars, they are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and ultimately, I'm just like a small time active.
I don't think so. I don't think.
Yeah.
You've done this movie, 3-4 of you together, no? There was a movie that came out where 3 or 4 of you played a role in one of the movies with the actors. Yeah, I saw something.
Are you talking about Ulaj with Janvi Kapoor, right? That was.
Yeah, that released last year. No, I don't think she's talking about Ulaj. Which 3?
Something else I was thinking about, but there is something that I thought, I remember seeing.
There are usually 3-4 people in a film.
No, there are 3 guys. And this is the film that we are making, and there are only three.
Yeah. But have you actually sat down and counted like your body of work? Like how many films, how many, web series? How,
No, yeah. She's counting.
how many co-stars?
How many co-stars? I said, do you crush on your co-star? Have you ever crushed on your person?
I mean, know you're married and all, but when you were sitting there,
Idea. So we have that idea. So now you do this or this, okay? This is yes, this is and there could be maybe, but no comments. No comments you can't say. Okay, cool. Acha. So yeah, so we finished the questions, right? Like I think we got like a lot from you, which we were very happy to, and everybody knows you so well, Rishad. I mean, like you're like I can tell you for a fact that if I tell anyone I know Rishad Rana, like they wow, really?
No, but I'll tell you that people don't know me by name yet. People don't know me by name. They know me as a face. They know me.
Yeah, the face definitely no.
TV pe aata hai.
Big, yeah, right. You're right.
And there are a lot of people like, so I travel a lot by public transport. I take the metro to work very often. And many a times I see people looking at me like that. Then I see them fatafat Googling who this guy is. And then they write to me and they show me, are you this fellow? Like, yeah. So, so that is the shift I want to make. I want people.
I know.
We know your name.
Because when you show someone a picture, like,
Yeah.
of course we know him.
But I've always known your name, and I find Rushad is a very unique name. In fact, like it's actually there is no other Rushad that I know.
It's a Persian name.
Yeah.
So Persian names are.
What does it mean?
It means happy soul.
Oh, living up to your name.
But generally, he's a happy person. He's very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when that book was, we were promoting my book and all. We went to Cart Road. We were standing and we were knowing our book.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So Rishad and me go back a few years.
Yeah. But we want to play this game with you now. Bingo. So everything that has happened, you put a thumbs up. Okay.
But how much time do I get to think about the answer?
Not much time. Yeah, I remember. I remember.
You, huh?
Huh. So okay. You have slept on set. Yeah.
Like,
Okay. You have shot non-stop for 3-4 days. Yeah. Does that still happen, or is that on the earlier?
still happens at
Yeah.
times. You have to balance it out.
Okay.
Because if you're doing TV and you're doing web
Yeah.
or film along with that, you have to balance it out. Like 2 months back, remember when you were asking me if I can do this?
Yeah. What
I didn't read the PE, like time be. Yeah.
I was wondering, I said, what happened to him? Otherwise, he was like, yeah, okay, we'll do something.
Huh. Okay. Did he answer the flirted with a co-star?
And I was thinking, oh, you did.
No, I didn't.
No. Listen, we don't worry. Not now. It could be in the single days, earlier days. Have you ever?
Ever crushed on a
Crushed,
crush?
chalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. What else?
Who would you like to play opposite if you were in a movie?
Maybe she's not in my age bracket anymore, but definitely Alia Bhatt.
Yeah. You're a good actor.
Yeah.
A good actor.
Amazing. Yeah.
Who do you find hot, though? You can say it.
Eka?
Yeah.
Of
course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slow burn romance or love at first sight? I know the answer to this, so you better be super.
Love at first sight.
Oh, okay.
How many times have you broken hearts unintentionally?
Oh, but how do I do this on?
Yeah. This is broken hearts. Have you broken hearts?
Yes.
Intentionally? Intentionally. Not intentionally.
No, he's never done
Yeah.
that. He's a good boy. So we say on camera. Yeah. Okay, what's your perfect date? What would be your perfect date?
A lovely meal by the seaside. You know.
Okay. What will you be wearing?
Sorry,
What will you be wearing?
what will I be wearing?
Seaside beach, no?
But not at the beach, like a beach cafe. I'm not going to make sandcastles on the beach and feed my girl.
Acha, if you
You need to overactive imagination.
What is she asking?
this is gone. Okay, so if you take me on a date, where would you take me? Don't say beach. I cannot take the sun.
No, so I will obviously ask you because I know how particular you are.
Everyone knows how good it is. She'll be sending everything back. You'll be like,
Enough time for you to know that, Kainas.
yeah, I think anyone who goes on a date with you, they'll be trying to do romantic gestures and you'll just be like, this is not nice. The salted lemons. Germs.
But Prasni, my wife is like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she is absolutely like she has
Everything.
everything has to go perfect. Yeah, perfect.
That's why you like her so much.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Nice. But okay, according to you, what is green flag energy? Like, what makes someone a green flag?
Um, See, for me, the most important thing in a person that I look for, be it a relationship or be it friendship or be it even a professional kind of a relationship, is, the basic niceness in a human being.
Yeah.
I think is very important.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes have seen um, stars, being extremely nice to
Yeah.
the staff
Hmm.
or, the guy who's the valet guy who brings your car. But at the same time, I've seen people who are very nasty to them. So, that guy could be Elon Musk or he could be Jeff Bezos or whatever. But
Yeah.
if he's rude,
Hmm.
then I wouldn't want to have it
Yeah.
to do with that person. So for me, that basic niceness in a human being is green flag energy for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. Yeah.
Totally. What about main character energy?
Yes.
So the show name is Main Character Energy. And so what is your idea of being a main character in your own life? And I mean, it doesn't have to be a lead role or anything. In your own life, what do you think that defines you? What makes you different from others? Which makes you like the main character for your wife, for your parents, or for your friends,
I think
for your colleagues?
I think they all love the fact that I'm always happy. Like I'm always smiling, always positive,
Yeah.
always calm. I very seldom lose my shit. Like the water really has to go above, way above the head level also for me to kind of blow my,
Yeah.
so I think these are things which people have constantly,
Definitely.
liked in me,
Yeah.
like be it my wife, be it my friends, be it my colleagues whom I work with. So
Yeah. And what do your colleagues say about you? Like, if they had to describe you, what would they say? Besides saying a nice guy.
what I hear very often is cute,
Hmm.
and they love the fact that I can sleep anywhere at any time.
Don't they? Seriously, that they envy the pack.
They envy that about me. The fact that the amount of how I love food.
Yeah.
Like I love food
Yeah, but I offered you French fries, you didn't have.
because I had a heavy meal that came from Bonga. I had dal makhani.
I was thinking of you and I ordered some French fries.
Yeah. See, we usually say fries before guys, but I was like fries with guys, but he's like, no, not happening. So yeah.
And what book of yours that you wanted to kind of
Oh yes, I've been this is my book, which is
going on about?
called Tinseltown Affair. So since you're a star, we wanted to give this to you, and may your affair with Tinseltown continue forever and ever.
House.
And of course, had to use the opportunity to promote myself. Yeah. Yeah.
So very excited to give it to you, yeah.
So yeah.
And also we have a small gift
Yeah.
for you to come up for coming on the show.
Okay.
And that's there's some
Yep.
yeah.
Put it the better side, na? Not the
No, but so I packed
on the sellotape.
No, I didn't pack it. No, I can't pack. I can't do it.
I can't pack either. Next time we wouldn't give that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for you.
You guys
Yeah.
need to do it, but thank you.
No, it's something for you, yeah.
So, we know movie sets and film sets and TV show sets. There's a lot of chaos that happens, right? Is there anything that's been really funny or something that has been like a bit of a crazy experience that you've had ever on set?
Funny, I wouldn't say, but a web show that I was doing recently, it was like a very bizarre experience. Like I couldn't understand that even today things like this happen, and we were shooting at a far off location, and we were shooting at a hotel, like a proper hotel, and it was like the most important sequences of the series. And we've reached at 12 in the afternoon, and we were presuming that it's usually a 12-hour shift, and then we were told that if you get there at 12, then we will start with you. And it was a small little scene that I had, so I was mentally prepared that okay, I'm going to get done by probably 4 5 and get home by 7 8 latest. Told my parents that I'm going to be home for dinner and things like that. That was one day where I don't know, everything had to go wrong. Like, the setting department fell apart and a lot of things went wrong. And I actually ended up shooting next day in the morning at 5. And then I had to reach my TV show set at 9 in the morning. So it was like a day wherein everything went wrong. So there's nothing funny about it, but it was just, since you spoke about chaos, like things can get that chaotic, you know. And I
I
think
don't know why it happened.
Yeah.
It's just
no, like I said, the setting department screwed up, and then they had to do a particular portion before, when that's why our scenes got pushed across, and then all that happened. So
who's the biggest force in your life?
biggest force in my life.
Who really makes you like the sound? Of course, you've been married for a couple of years,
Yeah.
but what keeps you going? It could be God. It could be even something else.
Definitely God. Like I've always been religious, spiritual. Always believed in having gratitude for everything that you have in your life. Apart from that, I think my parents are my strongest pillars. And now, obviously, my wife, Ketki, who is also from the same industry. So she is a very strong guiding force. Like whenever I get confused whether to take up something wherein I'm, stuck for negotiating a deal or something like that, I always go up to her and I ask her.
That's the best part, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
because I don't know about you, but maybe again, I the Parsi thing. It's very difficult for me to talk about negotiations with anything.
Yeah.
Especially where money, this, like
Yeah.
Kishore people.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that's something that she must be really good at.
Yeah, she guides me. She guides me. Yeah.
In the industry and, a stronger, how it is. Like someone knows, okay, let's say it directly.
Yeah.
Don't go around and around.
Correct. And she always gives me that behind the scenes perspective that, how people would talk about you if you say yes to something like this. And, like she always gives me guidance onto that. And yes, like I said, my parents, they've been with me all throughout.
Right.
Even when that phase where I said I got depressed after that film didn't, do well, and I had to start from scratch. And they were the ones who kind of just lifted me up, and they said that, okay, just you have to keep going,
That's it.
Yeah.
The parents support you, I think.
Yeah.
You have support from the people around you, then I think you can do wonders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, you always, it's a stress.
Yeah, that's why a lot of out-of-towners who live here all by themselves, they don't have that support system. Yeah, they're very lost. They are very lost,
Yeah, and then there's always different things that they get into.
Yeah.
Which I know that you go to parties, but I know that you're a party guy.
Yeah.
You're not a guy like, I was hardcore party before all the fun.
No, I'm the opposite of that. I'm absolutely the opposite of that.
Say hello and sigh.
Yeah.
Which is good, which is nice. That's why so much of you, because of the dedication, that's why you've got that kind of touchwood work. And I hope that you get more work for your OTT dreams. Hope the top gear. So
Yeah, may we continue seeing you on our screens and, lighting up our screens. And I think one last question we'll ask you is, okay, so this is a fun question, but what do you notice in women in general? What's the first thing you notice in women?
I would say the smile and the glint in the eyes and the hair. These three things do it.
to just find out that's me. Us.
No, your hair is also the same nice. But yeah. And I mean, is there anything else? No, I think
it's great.
we wanted to, one more thing we wanted to ask you. So
You just ask questions.
I'll also be with you. I'm just like, no, let's keep talking. No, but there are so many people who want to be actors and they come in. As you said, it's people come from other cities. It is tougher. It's tougher to keep believing in your dreams and all of that. So what advice would you actually give someone who wants to be an actor?
I always say this, like I've always said this, that you need to know the reason why you want to become an actor. If your reason is love for the craft, if your reason is, if it's a flimsy reason, then you will not pull through with it. It's a very tough industry. Like everywhere, wherever you go, survival has become tough nowadays. We, hear these stories and we read these articles and it's the same in our industry as well. So I think if you have a very solid reason why you want to become an actor, then I think you can keep going and going and going. Otherwise, if it's just meri chachi ne mujhe kaha ki I am a good looking guy, so I should be an actor. या मेरी मौसी के लड़के ने मुझे कहा कि तू तो शाहरुख खान के जैसा दिखता है. I feel such people are very disillusioned in life and they lose it along the way. I mean, I feel very bad when I meet fame.
They're not in it for the right reasons, basically. Yeah.
Fame or money, or they think, अरे लड़कियां आसानी से पट जाएगी. Like if I become an actor, I'll have women swooning around me, which is not the case. I mean, they don't realize the kind of hard work that we need to put in, the kind of discipline that goes into being an actor. And continuing being an actor project after project. You know, it never stops there. It never stops there.
Love your craft. I do. You just you love auditioning. Who says I love it?
I think that comes across that you love your work. I think that it's coming out.
It's years to pull. Like I said, I can't fly. I couldn't fly anymore after Subtype. Because many years, like it took more than a decade and a half. But I got burned out completely. Right?
Correct.
You are still pursuing it, and I think that's also because there's so much more scope. You know, you always think I can do more.
So even I tell myself this, that the day I feel I'm burnt out, I'll think about doing something else. But till then, let's be here. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a lovely industry. I've been lucky enough to work with some amazing people, and I continue being that lucky. So why not?
Yeah.
You know.
So awesome. Should we edit or should I ask one more?
Yeah.
That we'll ask off camera. No, but I'll ask you one last
Should I
question.
change you? You don't know, Shab. I have to stay near Starbucks.
Later. No. But I do want to ask you though. So there's a lot of talk about nepotism, right? And like people talk about insider, outsiders. Because you've been an outsider. So I mean, does it bug you sometimes that the star kids get opportunities easier, and people who come not from the industry have to work so much harder? Does that irritate you sometimes?
No, it doesn't. I'll tell you why. Because this whole concept of nepotism, this whole word nepotism is actually, I mean, what is nepotism? A father and a mother, the kid following in their footsteps. But what is wrong in that? Like today, if I have a child and he says he wants to become an actor, I will definitely call up my friends and tell them that my boy wants to become an actor. And why don't you audition him? So what is wrong in that? Today, if a very, crass example, a Farsan wala, his son takes up to the gala after him, wo galle pe baith jata hai after his father. We don't call that nepotism. He's taking over the business. I mean, in a business family, in a high-class business family, after the father, if the sons take over or the daughters take over, we don't call that nepotism. So why call that?
Because it's a word that is.
I mean, I think this term really came into the limelight after the Sushant Singh, the unfortunate Sushant Singh incident that happened and all that. But I don't think there's anything wrong in nepotism. Also, let me bring one thing into limelight that I feel these star kids need to work way harder than normal people to sustain and to make a mark for themselves because of the kind of pressure that they have. I mean, imagine and Abhishek Bachchan, the kind of pressure he must have had when he was getting launched.
Yeah.
Obviously, now he's carved a niche for himself and he's doing some amazing work and all that. But imagine back then, what he must have gone through, what must his psyche have been, that he's Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's son, yeah, for God's sake.
I mean, how can you
Like today, Aryan Khan is a director, but had it been he wanted to become an actor,
all those
the kind of so I feel they have to work all the more harder than normal people like us who come from normal families.
I think people are just jealous. Because actually people are like, I wish I was.
No, see, I'll tell you, the opportunities come to them in a much more simpler manner. Like they just need to they're at a party and they'll be like, "Arey, you're so good looking. Come and audition for me tomorrow." And so the way to that path is easier. But then they have to work so much harder to survive.
And people troll them more, na? Because people are trolling all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And that's like really hard.
Like I did a film with Janhvi Kapoor called Ulaj.
Yeah.
And if I may say so, she was brilliant in the film. But I know a lot of people who didn't want to watch the film because it's her. Because this whole nepotism thing is so much out there and people have started taking so much dislike to it. I mean, why? I mean, if an actor is putting their heart and soul into a role, which she has, you at least give it a look. And so people didn't go to watch the movie in theaters, but when it came on Netflix, it was trending for 3 weeks at a go. So that shows that people liked her work and people liked the film and all that. So I just feel guys, just get over this whole nepotism thing. Yeah.
You typecast this as a romantic hero or like an action hero or what? What would you have if your next role? Like, let's say there was a choice. What would they do?
I would love to do some grey characters. Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, some hardcore grey characters. Like I'm dying to do those.
Villainous?
A lot in the past, but in the last, I think 3-4 years, it's only been positive. Yeah, so
You love auditions, you'll audition in love. So now say main character energy like a villain would say it. Let's see your grey. Show your skin.
I need to say main character energy. Okay. Okay.
I'm going to take a shot of this song.
Now you will be conscious.
Yeah, no. No joke, yeah.
Stop staring at him, Anjali. He's not able to concentrate.
I see your face all the time.
She's like, I want to see it.
Main character energy. You get that?
Nice, awesome. Someone needs to cast you in a negative role right away. We approve.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, see there we did.
Yeah.
Thanks for being Shad.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katrina. Amazing sport, and we've enjoyed chatting so much with you.
Likewise, yeah, guys. Thank you.
And now once we get off the camera, there's a phone number that's going to be selected.
No. But yeah, there's a saying that like you shouldn't meet your childhood crushes because they'll end up
Disappointing you. Disappointing
But
you.
I think it's gone the other way. I'm like, oh, he's so humble and so grounded. So yeah, we're
Thank you.
carrying you on.
Thank you. Thank you. Means a lot.